Hello everyone, I am Griffin and this is Stitching with the Griffin Crochet Fun number 2. This playlist is just about my crochet. I have a bunch of projects that I do, so I thought I would do a separate playlist to show you those projects instead of trying to tap them onto the end of my cross stitch, especially since I don't want to make those videos all that long. If you're new here, welcome. As I said, this playlist is all about my crochet projects. That's it. If you're not interested in that, I do have another playlist that is cross stitch, embroidery, and hand sewing. I don't do a lot of embroidery or hand sewing right now, but you know, that may change in the future. It's all about how much time I have. So I have a finish for you today. I guess in crochet, it's a full finish. It's done. So I don't know if in crochet they do full finishes or not. But I am not going to put it on because it took me several months to do this, and in the time that it took to make it, I gained some weight, and it doesn't fit over my belly anymore. So yeah, I'm a big woman, but you know, sue me. So this is a cardigan. It's the hexagon cardigan. I didn't make very long sleeves, and I didn't make this very big because I wanted it to fit me a little bit better. Anyway, I don't like things huge. So this is geared towards a size large. Other hexagons are geared differently. I also didn't use a super bulky yarn like some people are using, but this was inspired by Amora. It's not exactly her pattern, but I was inspired because she was doing a hexagon cardigan. And the reason why I say it's inspired by is because she uses, she puts beautiful panels in the back. Usually a Grafgan or a Tunisian, and I'm sorry you can't really see the back very well, but when you have it over like this, you can see the pattern and the coloring better. I am so sorry, I was not prepared to really show this. I wish it could. I wish it covered my belly so that I could, you know, properly model it for you, but here it is. It is done. We don't get like super cold winters here, so pardon me, I'm shifting my chair again. So I see myself wearing that over a long sleeve shirt, but not necessarily bundling up with it. I don't know what to say. I've lost my train of thought, but that's my finished project. It is made using Caron Blossom Cakes, and there you go, in the colorway Tidepool. Yeah, Tidepool. And for those of you who are like me and like the center pull, it is possible to do a center pull without a lot of yarn barf. It's pretty easy. Caron's cakes, sometimes, they don't always, you can't always see where the end is, but it's not hard to get in there and pull one out without a lot of yarn barf. I don't like to redo my balls. I don't like turning these into balls. I like using the center pull. On the occasions when I have to, I just deal with it. Okay, so in that regards, because you did see that yarn, I do have a start, and it's well on its way. It is a 5-panel blanket. That's what it's going to be. This is in the colorway Blossom, and it's Caron Cakes Macchiato. So it's the Macchiato cake in the, like I said, in the colorway, no, sorry, it's not Blossom. It is in the colorway Boundless. Yes, Boundless. But it is the Macchiato cake from Caron. It is very soft. These are acrylic, unfortunately. I believe even the Blossom cake is acrylic. Got to turn the wrong way again. I didn't even look to see. Yes, well, the Blossom cake is 61% cotton and 39% acrylic. It is soft. Both of them are soft. This one's got a little more hair, so it looks almost like a tweed or a wool. So it's got, it's got some hair like wool. And it does, from the way that they have it, you can see it's kind of tweed looking. But it is very easy to work with. And I don't know which way to put this. This is about where I've gotten. Look how well that's working out. And this is a pattern that is on the, I don't know if you can see that. That's on the label. And there's actually 5 rows of these. So there's 5. And it's probably about 60 inches at least long. So about 5 feet long. I'm sure you could do longer if you wanted to. But that's how they're going to be arranged. And then there's a border down here. Not very long. So that's my new start. And I've got about 2 feet in here, and this is a this is like a variation of the seed stitch, I want to say, done at an angle, and it's interesting. It's keeping me. I have to count. You have to count, and you have to watch your spaces, otherwise you're going to be off. I mean, I'm a little bit. I'm going to have to block it a little bit because I do have a little bit of a wave to it, a little bit of a, still working out the tension. This is for me, it's not for anybody else, so even if it turns out a little wonky, all my first attempts are usually for me when it comes to crochet. That way I can work out the kinks and figure out what I've done wrong and then do it again a little bit better the next time, or a lot better the next time, depending on how bad it is. Now if it gets really, really bad, I will take it apart and try it again. And speaking of first tries, and gotta make sure which way he's going. Okay. This is Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas, and his body, working with the wiring is proving to be a pain, literally. His wire is sticking out of his hand, and it's not supposed to. Now I have wire sticking out of the foot down here, and these feet do not want to go where they want to go. I'm thinking that I used a wire that was too thin for this size, because this is a size bigger yarn than, or a couple of sizes bigger yarn than what was in the original kit. I got a kit, and I'm sure those of you who have been following along have seen Jack and Sally. I got a kit, and it had Jack and Sally in it, and they use a size, I have to look because I don't remember. It's a DK yarn, but it's thin, so I want to say it's like a size 2 or a size 3 in US terms. Much smaller than this anyway, and I'm thinking that's, and then the wiring, the armature wiring, is the same wiring as what I used for them, and it's not what came in the kit, but I measured it. I took what little I had left over, took it into the shop, and found wire the same size. Apparently it is too thin, too flimsy work with, you know, a toy this size. So this is mine. I will complete him. I will give him a face. I will not give him his little worm. That's just disgusting. But I will put his face on, and I will finish his, this is what I'm doing right now, is I'm doing his side stitching. I am doing the initial stitching first, and then I'll go back and put X's and, you know, slash things like that. So I started him at the bottom. So I will finish that, and then I'll do his eyebrows and do his face. And then he will be a finished Oogie. He's big, but he's not that big. I will be using this same yarn with a bigger hook and bigger wire to make a second Oogie, and that will be for one of my co-workers. So this is a trial and error Oogie, and like I said, I'll be using a larger hook, not much larger, but a larger hook, and I will definitely be using a larger piece of wire to do that. And I've got polyfill in there. So this is going to be the future Oogie. He's not quite done yet, but he's getting there. And the yarn that I'm using for him is, and that I will be using for the other one, is Loops and Threads Impeccable. And this is a size 4. So the other one was much thinner than this. This one's fairly thick. The other one's much thinner. So those two. The last time in video 1, which was the beginning of August, or close to the beginning of August, I showed you my Filet Crochet project. I have one right now. It was found in my stash. I want to say this is Aunt Lydia. I'm pretty sure it's Aunt Lydia. Size, it's either a 3 or a 5. It's a large thread, crochet thread. And the pattern I'm using is, or the chart I'm using is a free one that you can find. Just put in Filet Crochet Cats and you'll find this. And let me see if I can find something to put it up against. So you can, not the best thing, but I don't have a piece of black to put it up against, which would make it stand out better. But I finished, it's a set of 5. I'm putting them together up and down to make a bell pull out of them. Typically you see them side to side or individually. In fact, I don't think anyone has done them up and down from what I've seen. But, goodness. That's about as, I wish I had something darker you could see this on. I'm not putting it on white because then it'd disappear. Hold on. Maybe I can use a drawer. I have a little drawer here. Yes, I have a, whoop, there he went. I have a bookshelf in front of me. And just dropped. Please talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this, and if you're not with anybody else, have some tea, coffee, a soda, wine, whatever. Have a drink on me while I try to get this sorted. Of course, you know, I'm not prepared. I am not a person who's normally prepared. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Let's see if I can get these drawers apart. Okay, we're not going to. So let me see if I can put it on the back of this, and you can see it. And I gotta put my crochet hook down. It's not the best. It's going to need to be blocked for sure. So it's got some wrinkles and things in it. Let's see if I can get it up here so you can see it. Oh, I think that'll be better. Let's pull it to the top so that I can hold on to everything. And there you go. There's the first of 5 cats. Isn't it cute? And yeah, I mean, it's different than what I normally do. I do like doing filet crochet, and I don't do it as much as I'd like. But this project I really wanted to do and have wanted to do for a while, and I have this. So I will work on it until I run out, and maybe hopefully I can find some more. People tend to give me their crochet thread, their balls of thread, because I don't know what else to do with it. A lot of them don't crochet in thread, and I don't know if that is a confidence thing, a knowledge thing, you know, an experience thing, or just, you know, whatever it is, but they don't do it. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'll happily take the thread, no problem. And I just realized something. Alright, so any hoozy, let me put some of this stuff up so that I don't forget what I've talked to you about. Tell you right now, these videos should not be all that long. It's not like I have a ton to show. Okay, sorry. In my first video, I did tell you all about, you know, which hooks I was using and whatever. And then I got to thinking, well, people use different hooks and they use different yarn. I'm showing you the yarn I'm using, but my hook size may not be the size you want to use or that you're comfortable using. So you can use whatever's in the chart, whatever's recommended for the yarn. I don't always use the one recommended for the yarn. For patterns, I do use the one that is recommended in the pattern, especially if they come with a label, you know, if they're the pattern in a label, because then I know it's going to work out right. The only other thing really that I have to share, I mean, I do have some ongoing, but they're in bits. Bulbasaur is still in pieces. And I don't have a picture for the other one that I just found. I was digging through some things and found a project that I had put away, and I was like, ooh, but I don't have a picture to show you yet of what it's supposed to be, and I do remember what it's supposed to be. Now, this last one is still in production, and it's going to be a scarf. This is all I have of it. I am just making this freehand because I had picked up some yarn from work that was on clearance, and nobody seemed to want to give it any love. So I took it, and it's got kind of a silky feel to it. The yarn is loops and thread, soft, and of course I don't take the tag off. Soft and probably soft and silky. I'm trying not to tear up the label underneath here. Yep, soft and shiny. It's called soft and shiny. And there we go. Take that off. So it's loops and threads. Can you see that? Soft and shiny, but it's like it's shades of purple and silver, a little bit of gray. This is not doing color of my screen. It's not doing it justice. It is a size 4, and it's 100% acrylic, but it is soft. It does have almost like a silky feel to it. There's very little, I mean, there's hair, but it's not like the Caron. It's not got that much hair in it. It's easy to work with. I don't remember the size of this. I haven't actually measured it, but I'm going to make this into a scarf, so or just a neck wrap or something. I don't know what it's going to be yet. But yeah, I'm hoping I have enough, since I have another full skein. I'm hoping I have enough to at least do, you know, double it over, and then have enough here to do one throw over. I don't know. Winners here You know, we need scarves and mittens and things like that. But not for long, really. It gets pretty cold in between, you know, from January to March, sometimes April. But then we have the odd polar thing happen, like it did several years ago, and that was just rude of Mother Nature. I'm sorry, but it was just rude. Dropping Arctic temperatures on Texas like that. North Texas, our panhandle, the snow belt goes to just below Dallas Fort Worth. So just below them, not far out of the city really, I don't think, but not far out. And there's like a line there, and it gets snow from there on up in the US, okay? They can have their snow. From that line down in the US, and I'm not just saying Texas, but everybody that's in line with that, and I think Florida is there, most of Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, you know, in line with that. From there down, we don't get snow. Every once in a while, we get snow. The first time that I personally saw snow was probably 1989. I was pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant and with my first son. And yeah, so 1989, and it snowed, but it was not the kind of snow that sticks. So it fell on the ground and it snowed for a couple hours, and then it stopped snowing, and a couple hours later it was gone. It was you know, it had melted away. And I thought that was cool, but you know. And then the next time that I saw snow, I'd gone to Massachusetts to visit my mother, and it had snow on the ground. I was offended. It was April. Not supposed to have snow. There's not supposed to be. It didn't just have snow on the ground. It snowed while we were there. Not bad, from what I was told. But I was there almost a week, and it snowed. And I'm glad. I mean, I had to drive once, and I am so glad they salt the roads and it wasn't snowing at the time, because I would have freaked out. I would have had a problem with it. And then the next time that I saw it snow was just before or just after Hurricane Rita hit. I was in Houston, and it hit East Texas. I wasn't in East Texas then. I was actually living in Houston. And Rita, instead of hitting dead on Houston like Katrina did, it turned and went east and hit East Texas. And me and my husband at the time, we decided we are going to try Illinois for a little while. It's where he was from, or is from. So I allowed myself to be talked into leaving Texas and going to Illinois. I was there for about a dozen years, and I hated every single winter. Every single winter. My first winter there, I was in the first blizzard I had ever been in, and I was driving in it alone at night. I was not happy. I mean, it wasn't late at night, but it was after dark. And thank God there was other people on the road with me. Now, most people would say, no, you don't want that, because of the, probability of being hit or getting, or hitting someone. But here's the thing. I had 3 cars that I could see in front of me. And the only reason why I could see them is because of their tail lights. So as I turned onto the road, I see 3 cars, and I'm thinking, oh my God, okay, Hopefully these people know what they're doing. I did not have snow tires. This was a Mark 7, a Lincoln Mark 7. It was a land boat, big car. And I mean, I was used to driving it, but never drove it in snow, okay? And where I lived, they had 5-foot ditches. You could hide a car in one of these things, probably. Now, I did end up hitting some black ice not long after I got there. And I ended up with the car sideways in a ditch. Luckily, it was the beginning of the ditch, so it wasn't 5 feet or deeper. You could bury a person in one of those, but, so the car ended up with its wheels on the road because I didn't freak out and start fishtailing. I actually took my foot off the gas, treated it like I was riding in Texas on ice, because that's what you're supposed to do when you hit ice here. Took my foot off the gas and turned into the slide. So I could not keep myself, because it's a fast car, from going into the ditch, but I was able to keep my front wheels on the drive, on the road and out of the ditch. Anyway, so they were able to pull me out. The truck was able to pull me out. Okay. But so I'm going home, and there's no street lights, or every so often there's a street light. It's like double blocks, city blocks here, you'll get a street light. And after you leave the little town, because I lived out in the outskirts of town, outside of town, there are cornfields. And so I'm driving, and snow is falling. It's like a big sheet in front of you. And you people that live up north, you know what I'm talking about. You know how to drive in blizzards. This is for all you southern folks who don't know what this is about. But I'm seeing taillights, and I am not necessarily tailgating, because if that person starts to, their butt end goes somewhere, I am not going there. As far as I know, there was nobody behind me. I think I was the last in line, which was great, because if I had to put my brakes on, even gently, I did not want the person behind me slamming into me. So I'm watching these taillights, and I've probably got a foot or two, because I can see the snow going this way in the light of the taillights. And I can see, and we're all riding our brakes. Not hard, but we're riding our brakes. We're keeping those taillights on. And we're riding along, and we leave the shelter of the buildings, and suddenly the snow is going sideways. I mean sideways, not down, sideways. I was like clutching the steering wheel, glued to the I could probably have read you, told you what the license plate was from memory, because I was staring at the back, and I was not looking at the lights directly, because I didn't want to blind myself if I had to look out the window, but I was looking right between them at that license plate with the two lights there, and I was watching them, and if that light went off, then I would ease off my own just to keep them in sight. And I would have to look up every once in a while and hope that I saw the turn off to my house, to my road. Luckily, one of the cars that I was following, in fact, the car right in front of me, turned, and I looked to see where they were turning, and I went, oh my God, that's my road. So I very carefully turned, because that's where one of the car eating ditches was that I ended up in. So I didn't want to end up face, front down in there. That would have been very bad. So I very carefully turned onto the road, flashed my lights, or they flashed their lights as they went on down the road. Oh no, I flashed mine, that's what it was, because I could see my house, and they were going past my house, so I kind of flashed my lights and a thank you, and I turned off into my driveway. Husband is home. He rode with his family, because he was working with his uncle at the time. Anyway, so he's home. Lights are on. I'm sitting, I pull into the driveway very, very carefully, and I park the car very, very carefully. Actually, I let off the brake and parked the car, and I put on the emergency brake. Don't ask me why. I don't know, because I'm on flat ground, but I was working on, I don't know what I was doing. I was freaked out. And then I sat there with both hands on the steering wheel and I cried. Actually, I take that back. I didn't do anything once I parked the car. My foot was on the brake. I was sitting there with the car on and my foot on the brake, crying, staring at nothing. I was just crying. Oh, I was staring at the hood of the car and I was crying. And I remember my husband coming out and he tapped on the window, and I could not move. I could not do anything. I was so, stressed. So luckily the car door was not locked. Don't ask me why. Those doors in those days on this particular car did not automatically lock. You had to lock them. Now they automatically lock, and nobody would have been able to get me out of that car without a second set of keys. And I don't remember if we had a second set of keys or not. Anyway, so he opens up the car door, and he knows the brakes are on because the lights are on. The car is on. Headlights are still on. Brake lights are still on. So he reaches over, and he turns the headlights off. Okay? And then he reaches past me, and he turns the car off. And then he reaches even further over, he gives me a kiss on the cheek, and he puts the parking brake down. I don't know why. Like I said, we're on flat, but he put the parking brake down. I had thought for a minute I had done it, but no. I did that another time, but not at the house. Anyway, then he very carefully takes my hands off the wheel, and he's holding them, and I am just like shaking, and he says, "Honey, get your foot off the brake." So I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at, down, going, what the hell? And then I take my foot off the brake, and he helps me inside. He gets me a drink, and he warms me up, puts me to bed, and that was my very first blizzard ever, and I hated it every year after, every day after. When winter came, I cried. That first day of winter, I would cry. Because it was so cold. I am a Texan. I am thin. I don't like cold. I'm a South Texan. I was born in what is called the Rio Grande Valley. And it does not snow. It'll get cold. It'll get icy. It'll get below freezing, but we don't get snow. Except for the time that Mother Nature decided to polar vortex us. We apparently were, not doing what we were supposed to be doing, I guess. And anyway, so like I said, I don't like snow. I don't like winter. It does, most of the time, that's going to be about as warm as I need to be with a long sleeve under it, and I'm good, But I have a full set of stuff to match that. I have a hat, I have a little neck thing to go over it, I have fingerless gloves. I'm not sure what else. I will show you those maybe in the next video. But this has gotten overly long. I am sorry about the blizzard story. I will try not to tell you things like that again, because it is a bit long-winded. But yeah, I hope that everyone enjoyed this and stayed to the end, even with my little story. I do apologize for not welcoming my regular subscribers back. But I'm happy you're here, and I'm hoping that you watch it all and, do all the things that you want to do. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do it, don't worry about it. Drop a comment below if you want. Don't worry about it. I answer comments because I don't have that many subscribers. So I answer comments. I read the comments, but I answer them either in the comment section or recently I actually answered one in a video. So also, I have, if you haven't already seen it, I am doing channel news videos, and there will be a new video up very soon because I have some news and I want everybody to know about it, and hopefully this time it'll go a little better. I will also set it up earlier, and yes, I'm talking about a live stream. I will set it up a little bit better. It will be a channel live stream. It will not necessarily, it won't be completely a floss tube live stream. Though, yeah, since, you know, my channel is not just about cross stitch anymore, all the live streams going from now on are just going to be live streams, and they will go under a playlist for live streams, but they won't be like floss tube extras, or they won't be predominant, they won't have floss tube in the name anymore. So, but I will be having all the stuff that I do in my channel in this floss tube, so it might actually be a longer floss tube than last time. I don't know, depends on how many people show up. And if it's just the 2 or 3 that I had last time, I don't care. We will sit, we will natter, we will chat, we will look at stuff, and we will have a good time, just like we did last time. I am a little bit more flighty, nervous doing a live stream, but I think it'll be okay. I think I'll be alright. So, anyway, that's it for this month. My crochet videos will come out once a month because I need that time to actually work on it. I don't do crochet as much as I cross stitch. But that's it. I could see you guys on the flip side.